Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2021 ICBA ThinkTECH Accelerator Demo Day. And now, broadcasting live from Little Rock, Arkansas, is Wayne Miller, Executive Director of the Venture Center.
Good morning. Welcome to the 2021 ICBA FinTech Accelerator Demo Day, powered by the Venture Center. I'm Wayne Miller, Executive Director of the Venture Center. We're here today thanks to our partners at the State of Arkansas and the Independent Community Bankers of America, and we're coming to you live from Little Rock. As many of you know, Little Rock is home to the very first FinTech founded here in 1968, a company known as Systematics, which today is FIS, arguably the most successful FinTech in the world. Today, Little Rock remains rich with decades of data and FinTech expertise. Innovation is in our DNA here in Arkansas. Innovation has become a key focus for the financial services landscape, and forums like the ICBA ThinkTECH Accelerator program help to ensure community banking's continuous progress and resiliency. And while you may have heard the word innovation many times over the last year, it's more than just a buzzword. Innovation is a way of thinking, it's a cultural driver, and it's a path to sustainability. At the Venture Center, we see hundreds of FinTechs every year and meet with countless innovators and thought leaders. We can confidently say that the ICBA is one of the great innovators around. Every day, we see community bankers in their efforts to innovate, delighting customers with enhanced digital solutions, protecting their customers with the most efficient cybersecurity tools, and creating new efficiencies for all bank employees. These continue to be a top priority for the ICBA members. This year, the Venture Center's Accelerator team worked relentlessly, resulting in the virtual visits of over 100 banks, nearly 500 bankers, subject matter experts, and venture capitalists, further differentiating this program as one of the best in the world for growth stage FinTech companies. These are the results of a proven methodology. What we do here is deliberate, and the outcomes are predictable and meaningful. One very important visitor spoke of the potency of the possible. That's what we have seen here in the past 12 weeks with this cohort. These founders look challenges in the eye and see opportunity. They see what is possible in helping community banks and furthering their relationships with their customers. These bank-ready solutions are already at work through numerous deals created through this program. This year, we've seen more community bankers participate than any year before, and the value gained increases exponentially each year. Feedback from the ICBA members included, and let me quote, "This is impressive. We're ready to start working with half of them today." They also said, "We saw so many different solutions that will help us better help our customers." And finally, "This is one of the best and most exciting days I've had in a while." We are honored to partner with the ICBA and the state of Arkansas in this effort. Together, the ICBA, our 2021 cohort, and Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, today we celebrate the conclusion of this great program and the Accelerator's culmination. Next up, this program has grown and thrived under our next speaker's leadership. She is without question one of the most important people in banking today and having a remarkable impact on community banking. It is my genuine honor to introduce a true partner and a leader deeply dedicated to innovation, the President and CEO of the ICBA, Rebeca Romero Rainey.
Thank you, Wayne, for setting the stage for today's celebration and the important work of this program and furthering successful community bank FinTech collaborations. I am so proud of what this team, what this group has accomplished for community bank customers we serve. I also want to thank the hundreds of community bankers and industry leaders from across the country who have participated in this year's program, providing valuable feedback to help refine the solutions that will be on display today. At the Independent Community Bankers of America, our mission is to create and promote an environment where community banks flourish. We do this through advocacy, education, and of course, innovation, which is essential to providing the high-tech, high-touch experience that can help customers thrive. Core to the community bank business model is relationship banking. 2 weeks ago during our annual conference, I spoke about the incredible work performed by community bankers to serve their small business customers as outsized paycheck. Community bankers have always been nimble innovators and creative problem solvers. COVID-19 forced many to put their innovation strategy into high gear. Those efforts were certainly aided by the collaborative efforts of community banks and fintechs working together to create right-sized solutions that address real-world problems. And as a result of this work, thousands of small businesses able to keep their doors open, saving millions of jobs. Talk about collaboration in action. At ICBA, we want to continue to drive innovation, and fostering the type of connections born out of our ThinkTECH Accelerator program is central to this goal. This program was launched in 2018 to identify and accelerate community bank enabling technology. And I am so proud to say that in the short time since the launch, we have already produced tangible, workable solutions for the benefit of customers. And I'm so excited today to see how this new cohort will build upon past efforts to continuously improve and deliver value. This year's participants have come so far in a short time, and I know you will agree that they hold great promise to help community banks achieve their business objectives and, most importantly, continue to deliver an exceptional customer experience for which they are known. Through this collaborative arrangement, ICBA is literally investing in the future of community banking so that community banks continue to be innovative, nimble, and efficient, and continue making a positive impact in their communities. Before I turn things back over to Wayne, I'd like to thank him and the entire Venture Center team for their incredible work on behalf of this program and helping to support ICBA's efforts to foster community bank innovation. I'd also like to express my appreciation for serving as the host city for ThinkTECH Accelerator and allowing us to be part of your innovation journey. And I can't wait till the day that we're all back there in person. Your support of this program helps fund community bank innovation, not only in Arkansas, but across the country. So thank you. Wayne, back to you.
Thank you, Rebecca. You're fantastic. Now it's my incredible privilege to introduce Arkansas's biggest tech champion, Governor Asa Hutchinson. Thanks to Governor Hutchinson, Arkansas remains a place where the tech environment grows, entrepreneurship thrives, and our economy continues to become stronger. Thank you, Governor Hutchinson, for your continued support of this program and to the state.
Thank you, Wayne. It is exciting for me as governor to be a part of this demo day and this think tank accelerator. We're very excited about what it brings to Arkansas and to community banks. The partnership between the Venture Center and ICBA has been a success, and just as importantly, it has been of great benefit to the state of Arkansas. And that is why the state invests $1 million each year in various accelerator programs across the state that brings in top talent, top new technology companies here to Arkansas to see all that we offer and to support our tech industry. This is the third year of the partnership with ICBA and the Venture Center and the state of Arkansas. And President Rainey, thanks for your remarks and leadership. And let's make sure that this partnership continues into the future. This accelerator program recognizes the importance and significance of community banks, which serve our communities and our customers and offer choices to those across Arkansas and our nation that look for investment opportunities and community bank services. But it also emphasizes the importance of technology and innovation in helping community banks compete and serve their customers with the latest convenience and service and technology. And I want to emphasize today that Arkansas continues to be a leader in the nation in terms of computer science education. When I first became governor 5 years ago, we were the first state to mandate every high school to offer computer science in every school in Arkansas. And since then, we've continued to lead the nation, and I'm pleased to say as a result, we've increased our participation of students in taking computer science and coding and learning the skills for the tech industry that we foster here in the state. But in addition, yesterday I was privileged to sign into law the next phase of our computer science program, and that is to require computer science to be a graduation credit to leave high school. And this is going to enhance even a greater extent the pipeline of talent that will feed our tech industry that is growing in the state, that we're recruiting to the state, and that supports our existing technology industries. And so this cohort that is before us in terms of this demo day, I'm very proud of them, what they've done in terms of technology. The growth stage tech companies represent companies from California to Florida, from Georgia to Canada. And it's exciting to see them come and make a difference in the tech industry, but also in the financial services arena as well. And so I hope that you all have success, and as you have success and grow your companies, don't forget, you can have a future in Arkansas where the talent is there, the vision is there, and the entrepreneurial spirit never ceases. Thank you, Wayne.
Governor Hutchinson, thank you so much. Once again, your support of this program and your leadership in driving this state, because we know that for these companies and wanting them to be a part of Arkansas, that workforce is a critical capacity, and starting with the programs that you have today and that you've put into law make a huge difference there. We're grateful for your support and your leadership. At the helm of this accelerator program this past year is a gentleman by the name of Daniel Schutte. I think you guys know Daniel. Daniel's an entrepreneur, a mentor, has made his way to Little Rock, and has made a huge contribution to innovation in this community and around really the globe in immeasurable ways. In fact, for those of you who don't know, this Friday we will celebrate Daniel's third year at the Venture Center. Over the past 12 weeks, Daniel and his team have shepherded this incredible cohort through over 1,000 hours of Zoom calls. And let me put that into proportion to you. That's 21 days in a row. It's an astonishing feat, and it just simply would have not been possible without his leadership. Daniel, I thank you. I know I speak for so many that are grateful for your dedication to the VC, community banking, and helping to guide these founders, truly accelerating their businesses. Thank you, Daniel. Let's do this.
All right. Thank you, Wayne, and thank you for everything that you do. You guys don't know this at home, but Wayne is and remains, the whole time I've worked with him for the past 3 years, first person in the office, last person to leave every day. And I said this before, and I'll say it again, when you're talking about fintech founders who have multi-million-dollar startups, that is no small feat to beat them to work and outwork them. So we want to thank the ICBA for carrying this innovation standard forward for community banks and paving the often perilous path forward for community banks across the nation. Peter Drucker says that the only two functions of business are marketing and innovation. I don't know much about the marketing side, and I'm going to make a joke that my team's going to appreciate. They'd wish I'd be less involved in the marketing side when I do get involved in it. But the innovation side, we're pretty good with at the Venture Center. And the reason that we're here today is because, as Rebeca stated, the ICBA is directly investing in innovation for community banks all across the country. We also need to thank the state of Arkansas for continuing to invest in itself for current and future Arkansans. To both the state of Arkansas and the ICBA, thank you for trusting us with this mission. So on the mission side, how's it going, right? How are we doing? Well, you heard from Wayne this year, we crested 100 banks that participated in a 12-week program. By frame of reference, last year there were 34. Of course, COVID struck in the middle of it, but still. We had over a dozen different fintech-specific venture capital firms come and meet with venture capital firms, every major regulatory agency in the United States, every major core provider in the United States, come and meet with each of these companies for a half an hour and 30-minute Zoom calls. That's a big part of our program, by the way, and how we got to that 1,000 hours on Zoom number. And we should have bought some stock, as it turns out, in COVID. It's incredible what can be accomplished in 30-minute Zoom meetings when you have them back-to-back about 14 times a day. Now, I'm no fintech guy, but I think they call that compounding returns. All told, we had over 500 bankers and subject matter experts come through the program. Last year, we had less than 150. And it's important to note that by all accounts, that was an incredible program. That's just the scale at which this program is at now. That's how quickly it's growing. We're saddened that this program was virtual, and we do look forward to hosting you all in Arkansas next year. However, like many of you who've learned through this COVID scenario when going remote, there is value to a virtual component in the program, and we will always maintain that moving forward. So those of you who weren't able to make it this year, we look forward to you giving yourself the gift of participating in the 2022 ICBA ThinkTECH Accelerator. So that's enough for me. With things of this nature, it truly takes a village to put them on and make them successful, and the number goes well beyond the 500 people that participated. But if we started to name everyone, this demo day would go from a couple hours to 5 or 6 hours, and we don't want to do that. However, we're going to pass it now to my program manager, Hamza Kadir. He's not my right hand, he's my partner, and without him, this thing absolutely does not work. So Hamza, it's yours. Introduce the companies. You've done a great job so far. Don't ruin it now.
Thanks, Daniel. I'm thankful for the opportunity you and the rest of the Venture Center presented to me around this time last year. It was in the early days of the pandemic that I got a call from Daniel asking me to come help him build innovation programs here at the Venture Center. And I won't repeat the entire history of how I got here, but I did want to share a bit of a personal anecdote. A few years ago, when the Venture Center's building was in downtown Little Rock, I'd walk by it and I'd look into the windows and I'd say, man, that's a great place for me to go work one day. And the reason why I would think that is because I had heard about the great companies that had come out of there. And since joining this team, I've realized that this is where great companies are built. And we're able to do that because our program is built by entrepreneurs and for entrepreneurs. And what you'll see in the upcoming demos is a cohort of amazing companies that not only survived during the 12 weeks of our marathon, but grew throughout the process. And they'll continue to thrive once graduating our program. Daniel alluded to the 30-minute Zoom meetings being a big part of our day. And what we got to witness was 9 incredible groups of entrepreneurs building their companies 30 minutes at a time. That's one 30-minute discussion at a time that resulted in the co-creation of Fintech for community banks, and all of us got to witness it happen. We're very encouraged by how the community banks and the rest of the visitors that came through our program responded to our cohort, and I can't wait to see what you think as well. So without further ado, I'd like to kick off the demo portion of our program and welcome the 2021 ICBA ThinkTECH cohort. Please stay tuned at the end of each of these presentations to answer a short poll question when asking if you'd like to follow up with each of the presenting companies.
And now, our first group of founders from Z Suite, UpSwat, and Artis. Our first presenter is Nathan Baumeister, CEO of Z Suite Technologies.
Hello, my name is Nathan Baumeister, and I'm the CEO of Z Suite Technologies. We are a bank-born fintech company based out of Boston, Massachusetts. I say bank-born because we actually started as a product innovation division within a $2 billion community bank here in this area named Leaderbank. In the summer of 2019, we spun out to become our own independent fintech company to be able to serve the needs of banks throughout the entire United States. Our mission is quite simple. We want to arm banks with differentiated digital products that will help them expand, attract, and retain key commercial relationships. The way that we do this is we build cloud-based digital escrow and sub-accounting solutions built for specific commercial verticals. Now, what are these commercial verticals? Well, as you can see here, there's quite a few that actually use escrow and sub-accounting services to run their day-to-day operations, whether it be landlords and property managers, law firms and municipalities, title companies, and many other ones. What's the opportunity here? Well, the opportunity is very simple. Escrow and sub-accounting services requires a lot of resources and oftentimes a lot of manual intervention. Because of that, many banks don't even offer services in this regard, and even those that do find it very difficult and oftentimes just throw people at the problem. And we're here to say it doesn't have to be that way. Servicing these types of clients are great because first and foremost, you could get some great commercial deposits. Now, I know a lot of you are flush with deposits right now due to the COVID surge, but history tells us that those are going to pass through, but these deposits won't They are core deposits and they're sticky. But what's more important than the deposits themselves are the relationships behind those deposits. By adding these value add services to these commercial clients, you increase your chances of being able to get their entire operating relationship, fulfill any lending needs that pop up. And you could do it all extremely efficiently because we utilize nothing but digital channels. There's self-serve access points for all the parties involved. And for anything that still does require manual intervention, our team will actually step in and fulfill those requirements. So what could this actually do for your bank? Well, let's just look at one case study. The bank we spun out from, Leader Bank, their Z Suite users have over $60 million in deposits. Their cost of funds on those deposits is 25 basis points as compared to their institutional cost of funds of 1.04%. These same Z Suite users have over $100 million in their commercial loan portfolio. And the Z Suite users' average balance on those loans are 66% higher than the non-Z Suite users. And they've been able to do all of this without adding any branches, without adding any staff, and actually seeing a decrease of 50% on the non-interest expense associated with supporting these accounts. It's because of that that we've been able to build our partner network to 17 financial institutions, from 250 million all the way up to 7 billion. And we've been able to get over 2,000 commercial clients already on our platform. We're processing over $120 million in payments on an annual basis and already have over 12,000 escrow accounts sitting on this platform. So what I'd like to do next is take you through what these products look like and give you an idea how it works. Our first foray into building out digital escrow products were for property managers and landlords. The escrow use case for landlords and property managers all revolve around the tenant security deposit accounts. Pulled up a live instance of our products for one of our financial institutions and showing you how the property manager could log in and view all their tenant security deposit accounts right on the dashboard. Multiple actions that can be taken, such as starting a new deposit, can be done either from a mobile device or desktop. As we open up these accounts, we ensure to get all the information necessary to open up the accounts, not only from a banking compliance perspective, but also making sure that it's associated with the appropriate properties and we know what the balances are going to be and for what purposes. One thing that many people don't know is that tenant security deposit laws can vary state by state. So as they put in the address and fill in this information, we make sure to drop them into the appropriate workflow to facilitate compliance with those things as well. After filling out all the information in regards to the terms of the lease, they can review the application, e-sign all of the things that need to be done, like the beneficial ownership form, as well as the application itself, and then they can fund it, either from an operating account that they have at that bank, or we can actually do a mobile remote deposit capture if they still have the check from the tenant. Various other actions that can be taken are done at the dashboard. For example, you can view an individual tenant security deposit account. Both the landlord and the tenant have access to that. It has the forms and disclosures necessary and shows any transactions that are happening. Lastly, let me just show you how you release the balances. Here we're showing that a portion of these balances are going to be released to the landlord and another portion to the tenants. The landlord can either receive a check or a bank transfer. As far as the tenants go, we mail them a check, and they could add a forwarding address if they need to. If property managers and landlords happen to be one of the verticals that you're all interested in, we do have another product targeted to those as well. It's called Z-Rent. Pulling up another live instance here for another financial institution to show you what that looks like. The property manager could log in, and they can easily see all of the properties that they manage. What this does is it helps to automate and digitize rent collection. They can add new properties, or they can drill down into an existing property to either edit a current unit because something is changing, or they could actually create a new lease if there's a unit that's empty. When they do this, they'd put in the monthly payment amount, they'd be able to put the occupant's email address and have as many occupants as possible, and then invites are sent to the tenants where they can then hook up a bank account. They can either set up for automatic payments to come out, set it and forget it, or they can schedule one-time payments. This is a great tool for property managers and landlords who are currently collecting rent or dues in an ad hoc fashion. It's probably worth mentioning two additional things. First, we can get you up and running very quickly, typically in 30 days or less, with very little investment of your team's time, maybe 4 to 5 hours. Secondarily, we don't just give you the technology and say good luck. Rather, we support you and your clients all throughout the life cycle, from sales to onboarding to support. So no matter which vertical or verticals that utilize sub-accounting, and escrow that are attractive to your institution or where you think there's a market opportunity, we are absolutely going to be able to help you with differentiated cash management offerings through our cloud-based digital escrow and sub-accounting system so that you can expand, attract, and retain those very important relationships.
Our next presenter is Dmitry Norenko, co-founder and CEO of UpSwat.
Hi, my name is Dmitry. I am CEO and founder of UpSwat, technology which is designed to help banks better support their business clients and grow their revenues by 18%. Let me show you a couple of slides of our deck to provide you with the better overview of our value proposition, and later we can switch to the demo. So nowadays, fintechs are eating a huge piece of the banking pie. If in 2008 only 34% of the businesses were thinking that there is no way that they can get support from their banks, nowadays it's more than 70% of the businesses looking for the support from Cabbage, PayPal, Square, Challenger banks, and hundreds of other fintechs serving the world. That means that the banks are losing their clients. That means that businesses are creating revenues for the fintechs. Because businesses are looking for actionable insights, personalized advice. They are looking for cash flow forecast. They are looking for simplified lending. And the banks, unfortunately, are not giving them this right now. And we are here to change this. We created the platform which is white label add-on to mobile banking and web banking. And this platform allows the banks to simplify their internal processes with the help of API-enabled access to more than 120 apps that the business clients of the banks regularly use. But the data from these apps will be also transformed and given back to the business clients through their banks to help them with the products they are looking in fintechs. We are making everything possible to get the businesses back to the banks. And we are doing this with the help of 45 people, serving more than 30 financial institutions. Among our clients are national banks, international banking groups, but also fintechs, community banks, and even non-banking financial institutions like MasterCard. But let me show you what we do. I believe all of you heard about Mint, great solution created by Intuit Corporation. It's used by millions of consumers almost every day because it allows to combine banking information, utility information, and assets in one app to help to build the credit score and make financial decisions. We created Mint for Business as the part of the banking products white label add-on that allows, let's imagine Jade, who is the business owner from New York, to get accurate cash flow forecast and build different scenarios. We will come to this a little bit later. More exciting, that Jade will get actionable insights. Something like that she needs to increase prices for her products because the demand is growing and her competitors already did this. Or Jade can get an insight because her week-over-week items returned volume is decreased. The steps that she needs to make to grow faster. In her web and mobile banking, she will get an insights regarding her performance on Square. But this is the way for the bank to sell much better. If the average conversion rate in banking industry is only 7%, with our help that would be 84%. Because when you explain the client that inventory levels has just dropped below the average level, and that's the perfect timing to get the loan, the conversion rate is much higher. Because this is not the sales. This is the explanation why Jade needs the loan. Because she has some inventory issues. At the same time, you can sell any product you want, including factoring, leasing, and payroll protection program. So Jade will see that she has so many invoices not yet paid. And while she can talk with her advisor, this is the perfect timing to push the button and get the factoring product in several clicks. We create the new way for the banks to sell by explaining why this is the perfect solution to the right client, offered at the right time. If Jade wants to dive deeper, she will see the KPIs of the financial performance. She can see dynamics in different time periods. But if she wants to dive deeper and to see, for example, what is happening with her Amazon, she can easily do this and get to the detailed analytics if she wants. But she can build any dashboard that she needs. She will see what will happen in future, including her sales. Something like in this case. Jade, you are doing so great job that your sales will grow very soon. Well done. But there is the problem. You don't have enough goods in your stocks to fulfill demand. Jade gets this insight through her bank, because the bank is the place not to store her money only, but the place to help her to make better business decisions. And she can dive deeper into any aspect of her business. But more importantly, that bank will give her the way to plan the next best step. So Jade can see what will happen with her business if the next month she closes a new deal that will give her 11,000 every month. She can see what will happen with her business if after that she is hiring a new employee. And she can build any forecast that she needs and build any scenarios that will show her which decision is the best one and which decision is the worst one by just clicking the buttons. But that means that the bank will know that Jane is going to close the deal. When? How much it will generate for her. That Jane is going to rent the truck. When? How much she is ready to pay for this. The bank gets the insights about their plans, issues, habits, preferences, and what Jade is afraid of. Because Jade is sharing this data. And Jade can connect any app out of more than 120 that she regularly uses, including the banks through our partners like Plaid, Yodlee, MX, and others. But when Jade connects her data, the bank gets legal access to this data as well. I would be happy to show you at the next calls how this data can be used for underwriting and renewals. But I want to focus your attention on how this data can be used for sales. We drive insights to relationship managers as well, and they can get them in our platform or even without our platform through text messages, emails, and push notifications. And even in Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics that your bank might be using right now. The main idea that there will be recommendation and explanation. Something like, please offer Jade to restructure her existing debt because her net income just dropped by 31%. Or offer Jade to launch marketing campaign because she just started selling 28 new items on Amazon. Or offer Jade a line of credit to help her to buy equipment for the new branch that she just opened. Our technology continuously monitors all financial and non-financial apps of the business clients to help them to perform better, but also to provide actionable insights to relationship and account managers, and even automate marketing. I would be happy to show you more. Please let me know if you want to dive into this platform and get all possibilities that we make available to all our current clients. Thank you very much.
And now we'll hear from Barclay Keith, co-founder and CEO of Artis Technologies.
Hi, I'm Barclay Keith, the CEO and one of the co-founders of Artis Technologies in Atlanta, Georgia. At Artis, we set out to make point-of-need lending simple. Ultimately, our goal is to embed in that moment where that consumer needs financing, being able to offer them the right loan at the right time alongside that business or the bank. Unlike many fintechs, we embed this natively within those networks. So again, we believe those relationships should really have control of the fintechs they use, not the other way around. Point-of-need lending really evolved out of those changing customer needs. 2 decades ago, a consumer might walk into a bank branch, fill out a loan application, and then come back a week later for access to those funds. With the rise in mobile, we really saw this shift to where consumers now demand those financial services on that mobile device wherever they might be. We see that continuing to shift. That mobile will continue to rise, but the future of banking is about embedding those services natively within those businesses, where during that transaction, when that consumer and business are interacting, we're able to capture that moment that consumer truly needs a loan. This goes beyond just home improvement or retail like we see with some of those point-of-need competitors. We see this as a vertical agnostic solution that can go in places like medical, dental, power sports, anywhere that consumer is going to be spending over about $2,000 where we can really replace that HELOC or that high-rate credit card with a real-time installment loan. At Artis, we provide banks with that true turnkey point-of-need lending platform. Coming from banking and fintech, we know the importance of security and compliance, and we also know how some startups miss on that. We truly embedded this within the platform from the ground up, to where this platform was built not only with a single source of truth from a data standpoint, but with very deep security and compliance embedded. We see point-of-need lending as truly a new digital channel for these relationships, both from a bank side where they're offering value-add technology, as well as for those businesses where they can truly give that consumer what they want in that moment of need. When we think about who this platform serves, there's really three major pieces. We have the bank, who we act as a technology partner with. We help them quickly evolve on that digital strategy, but also we give them access from a portfolio standpoint to a very secure portfolio that results in between 4 to 6% NIM right now in a low NIM environment. We have those merchants and those merchant networks where we provide that real-time digital lending payment infrastructure, which ultimately allows them to offer that consumer access to credit in that moment of need. Rolling right into a demo of the product, and again, we're an API-based platform, so it can be configured in multiple ways. What we're looking at right here is we're looking at a merchant's portal. In this scenario specifically, let's imagine we're a bathroom contractor. We're standing in the home of a consumer, and we're gonna eventually offer them a loan. That consumer at this point, again, is quite committed. They've already gone through the process of vetting a few different contractors, and they've decided on this one contractor. Not only that, they've decided they're gonna make this major purchase, right? Ripping out a bathroom is no small purchase. So again, we're that contractor, we're standing in the home talking about this project, and now it comes to how are we gonna pay for it? So as that contractor, I'd like to offer that consumer a loan. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and we're gonna text that consumer a link. That link is a simple form that allows us to gather enough information to do a fraud check on that consumer's device as well as that consumer and a soft pull of credit. Really important that we do a soft pull of credit here. For one, it doesn't hit that consumer's credit score and it allows them to shop. From our side, it allows us to say this consumer qualifies for these products and they should be put into this portfolio. Once we know that information, we can be very deliberate about what products we offer them. Again, if you're high income, high FICO, you might qualify for every product, but we're only gonna show you the most relevant ones. Once that consumer selects a product, they're gonna go ahead and scroll down to the bottom of the screen and click continue. At that point, we notify them we're doing a hard pull of credit. We do that hard pull of credit and then we display the loan documents. They'll go ahead and e-sign and click I'm finished, and at that point, the loan is complete and it's been allocated to that bank's book that was identified earlier in the process. More importantly, that merchant that is again standing in the home got a pop-up that says you can now transact with that consumer. Again, before they leave the home, they're able to get that down payment, which allows them to get that project started. Diving into one of the community banks we work with, this is a state chartered bank in Florida that we helped amplify their footprint to the whole Southeast. Start to finish, it was around an 8-week onboarding process, and that initial $25 million allocation right now is a super prime performing portfolio with around a 770 FICO and 100K average income makeup. More importantly, we have an 86% funding rate. That funding rate shows the importance of offering that consumer the right loan at the right time. Our founding team came from a fintech unicorn here in Atlanta a few years back that IPO'd for billions. We've built fintech products, we've built fintech platforms, and we've built portfolios of billions in unsecured consumer installment loans. More importantly, all of our teams work with banks in the past, so we understand how to work with compliance, security, and we've built these credit policies from the ground up and the decision engines that back them. We have deep expertise, and our expertise comes turnkey with this platform as well. Thank you again for your time today. We're honored to be part of the ICBA as well as this program. We look forward to talking to all of you in the future, and don't hesitate to reach out.
Thanks to the first group of presenters. Lending is the primary operation at a community bank, and these amazing solutions that we just saw is possibly what the future of lending looks like. And so thank you for sharing. As we entered the pandemic, it was obvious that the move to the digital atmosphere was going to call for security and efficiency like never before. The next three presenters are going to show you how they've been building solutions to tackle just that. Finisec, Shastic, Bostron Security, the stage is yours.
And now for our second group of founders. Our first presenter for the next group is Zach Duke, co-founder and CEO from Finisec.
Hey there, Zach Duke, CEO and founder of Finisec. I'm going to spend some time to you today talking about how we're helping community banks thrive related to information security and cybersecurity governance. But I want to start with the beginning 3 years ago when we saw a gap. The fact of the matter is information security and cybersecurity governance, think of that as validation or oversight, it's complicated. It's labor intensive. In a lot of ways, it leaves community bankers feeling overwhelmed. There are a couple of unique challenges that we have as community bankers. The first is there is no doubt the sophistication of attacks we're seeing continues to grow. We're seeing that by the average cost of a breach, in this case it's $13 million, continues to grow and expand. But the real challenge is as a community bank, we have to be right 100% of the time. And the hackers, they only have to be right once. And because of that, the regulators have taken note. Their expectations on documentation and validation and independence of information security continue to grow and expand. If we would have had a conversation 3 or 4 years ago around expectations when the examiners come on site, I really would have told you, I'm not sure what they're going to look for. That's no longer the case. It's very clear, and their expectations are continuing to expand. Now, those two dynamics create unique challenges on staffing. Well, compound that by a year from now, we're going to have 1.8 million jobs unfilled in information security and cybersecurity. So whether you're a community bank that now has to figure out who your information security officer is, a lot of times a joke, sometimes that's whoever misses a meeting becomes the information security officer. Or maybe you have a team of folks and you're trying to segment that process of information security, but you're trying to figure out how do we do it efficiently and effectively. And tools and processes of Word and Excel and Outlook to-dos and even yellow sticky notes don't cut it when you're trying to make your team efficient. And then lastly, we get handcuffed in a lot of ways by legacy systems and user access reporting and processes that are very archaic. And that's why we created Pathfinder, our information security platform. All right, so let me walk you through how the platform works. First thing you're going to notice is program compliance. Think of that as exam readiness. At a glance, you know where your status is. Clear options on what the overdue and action items are, so it makes it actionable for your team to be able to know what we need to do to prepare for and have successful exams and audits. We have an executive summary that's defined specific things that have dates associated. Some of these things are monthly and quarterly and annually, and they roll up to that to-do list. We have a very innovative system map where we go through and we document every banking function that you have in place. So if you're watching demo day to day, you're looking and saying, what solution should we add as our institution? And maybe we're going to go through a process and we're going to add something for online account opening. Well, once you put the information here and you say it's cloud and it's got an individual login, all of a sudden the information associated here populates your IT risk assessment. And we've went through by individual banking function and we defined the threats and the industry risk and the likelihood and the impact and the inherent risk. And then we have information on the controls that go and correlate to each one of these, automating that risk assessment all from the initial system map and documentation. The IT controls are based on the CIS controls where your team as easy as clicking through can define and say which of these things we have in place. This automatically rolls over to that risk assessment. The system map also allows you to have the ability of saying, if we're going to add a new function, I can have that information added. Once I add that specifics, the risk assessment automatically gets updated, associated, creating efficiency for your team. Now, at this point, I've talked about the program compliance and the action items and the system map that populates your risk assessment, your cybersecurity assessment toolkit specifics, as well as executive summary components. We also provide program tracking and an ability for you to be able to track specific items for your institution. One of the challenges I see consistently with community banks is change management, specifically around information security and cybersecurity. So in this date, we can go through and we can select the specific date. We can say who the requester is. I'm going to say it's me this time. And we're going to have a firewall change. The risk in this is critical. I'm going to open a port for Fedline. The change owner is going to be Scott on my team. He's my co-founder and CTO, and he was at a community bank that went from 300 million to 1.8 billion really fast. We built the challenges he saw as part of this process. The approver I'm actually going to have is Aaron. Aaron is got deep roots in managed information security, cybersecurity, all in the lens of banking, and he runs innovation and working on processes to make it easier for our team. Now the target date I can set and select. I can have the status and I hit submit for approval. When I hit submit, an email automatically will go to Aaron to say there's been a request for opening a port on Fedline. Once Aaron approves it, it'll automatically go to the change owner, Scott, and he'll be able to have the ability of going through the process and knowing that's been approved. And at the end, we can actually attach a file to be able to go have specifics and prove that it was configured correctly. So again, the goals of the information security platform are to streamline those processes. Now, when I mentioned legacy systems, these are the reports that we get for user access from our banking applications. Hundreds, if not thousands of pages of antiquated, archaic reporting that a joke is literally written for a green bar printer sitting in your operations center from 1974. And that's not okay. And that's why we added SysArec, our user access module that allows for your team to be able to document, report, and easily validate least privilege of access to your banking systems. So now at this point, I've talked about the information security platform. I've shown you a demo of the processes that we've gone through. I'd be remiss if I didn't spend a few minutes talking about thanks to the Venture Center for all their support, the ICBA for their involvement in helping community banking and fintech integrations, the community banks that have been part of the ICBA ThinkTech, and most importantly, you for being part of Demo Day. Thanks so much for your time today.
Our next presenter is Joseriel Gomez, founder and CEO of Shastic.
Hi, I'm Joseriel Gomez. I am CEO and co-founder of Shastic. And we are creating an automated banking processor that we call Ellie. And we designed Ellie to be able to move information and documents within your bank automatically, to cut down more than half of those manual processing tasks that are getting in the way of building great relationships with customers. I'd like to show you how it all works and how we do just that. So after speaking with more than 100 banks, we've found that at most institutions, their banking systems just don't talk to each other, which is forcing bankers to have to manually move information and documents between those platforms in order to complete a loan. And if we take a look at the example of lending and account opening, for instance, a typical banker has to talk to many different people, like customers, brokers, appraisers, very manually through phone, email, and face-to-face conversations as well. But then they have to navigate through all these disparate systems that don't talk to each other, which forces them to have to manually enter the same information multiple times from one system to the next in order to close that loan or open that account. So as you can see, this wastes a lot of time, but it also creates underwriting exceptions and manual errors, which translate into a lot of unnecessary back and forth. And it creates frustration also for customers, but most importantly, for your team, for bankers who are trying to close the loans or trying to open the accounts. But more often than not, their job evolves into essentially pushing paper or manually inputting the same information across multiple systems. So this is why we created Ellie. Ellie is an automated banking processor that connects with your customers through their phones using text messaging. But most importantly, it can sync with your existing bank and vendor technologies in order to unify all of that information, documents, and contacts into a single communication hub that is powered by automation and AI to move your bank processes forward a lot faster. So think of Ellie as a digital assistant that is always ready to take all of that impersonal back and forth out of the banking process so that your team can focus on the moments that are most meaningful to your banking relationships. So looking back at that lending process, this is what it now looks when we install Ellie. Ellie will instantly sync with each of your existing banking systems and contacts in order to bring them all together, and so that it can monitor each individual process as it's moving through your pipeline across all of these different touch points, so that it can anticipate and essentially cut down with automation more than half of those manual, repetitive, time-consuming, and boring tasks that are bogging down your process and just wasting a lot of time for your team. I'm going to show you what it looks like real quick. Great. So I have a couple of examples here, but I just want to say before I dive into them, Ellie integrates directly with the Internet Explorer browser or any kind of internet browser essentially, or with the Windows operating system. So any banking system that runs on either Windows or any kind of browser, Ellie can easily in just a few days sit on top of those platforms to help move processes forward. Now I have an example here of Finastra's Mortgage Pipe, one of the most popular for mortgage origination. And Ellie is this little circle right here in the lower right corner. As you can see, it's sitting on top of your origination platform that your bankers are already using. I have another example here from Meridian Link, one of the most popular vendors for consumer lending origination. Same form factor, as you can see. These are all different processes that Ellie is assisting to move forward. So, this could be your Encino platform. This could be Laser Pro. This could be Temenos, any loan origination, account opening system, or even an Excel file that you might be using today to coordinate your loan pipeline within your team. Now, I also mentioned that Ellie also connects with customers through their phone using text messaging. So we have John here. This is his loan, and we're gonna access John's conversation as well within Ellie. And these purple bubbles that you see here, these are automated, personalized messages that Ellie is sending to John, the customer, reacting to changes in John's loan within the origination platform, in this case, Mortgage Buy. Or also to request documents and collect documents that we need automatically by essentially looking at the conditions that the underwriter specified within John's loan in the origination platform, or by following a checklist that you might be using internally. Now, these blue bubbles here that we have here, we have one. These are incoming text messages coming from the customer, John, with either questions or information that we need to gather. And the gray ones are responses going out through text messaging from your bankers, loan officers, account executives, and so on. Now, Ellie can also collect documents automatically. A customer can easily, text basically a document through their phone. And this is where Ellie becomes bi-directional. Whether they upload it through Ellie or directly into the origination platform through a secure link, Ellie can pull those documents and then move them to the system of record where they need to be stored. So for instance, like Laser Pro, to create the final package. And by doing all of these different actions and things that Ellie's doing, it helps to cut down more than half of those manual, repetitive, time-consuming, and boring processing tasks that are bogging down your teams and your processes today. So just to summarize, I showed you how Ellie, the automated banking processor, connects with your customers through their phones using text messaging, but it can also sync with your existing banking technology and vendor technology in order to unify all of that information, documents, and contacts within a single communication hub that is powered by automation and AI underneath to move your banking processes forward a lot faster. And as I mentioned, you can think of Ellie as your digital assistant that is always ready to take all of that impersonal back and forth out of the banking process so that your team can focus on the moments that are most meaningful to your banking relationships. My name again is Jose Ariel Gomez, CEO and co-founder of Shastic. Thank you for listening to my presentation. And if this is of interest to you, feel free to express that interest to the ICBA through the survey that you're going to receive. Thank you again, and we look forward to speaking with you.
Welcome our next presenter, David Shipley, founder and CEO of Beauceron Security.
Hello, my name is David Shipley, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Beauceron Security. One of the questions we often get right off the bat is, why did you name your cybersecurity company and technology after a sheepdog from northern France, which is what a Beauceron actually is? It came from our work at the University of New Brunswick, where we discovered that if you educate and empower, if you help people know and care more about security, you turn them from the passive victims of cybercrime into the active defenders, from the sheep into the sheepdogs. I've had an interesting career path in founding Beauceron Security. I've been a Canadian Armed Forces soldier, a newspaper reporter, a marketer, and an accidental cybersecurity professional. I got involved in cybersecurity Mother's Day 2012 after the University of New Brunswick was attacked by a hacktivist group called Team Digital. Interestingly enough, the leader of that particular group was actually a US Navy sailor hacking us from a US Navy nuclear aircraft carrier at the time, and it's the one and only time I've ever seen NCIS outside of the CBS TV show. During my time at the University of New Brunswick, I discovered that cybersecurity is less about technology and more about people, process, and culture. And while there, I realized there was an opportunity to do more in my role running the security program for a 3,000 person organization. I wanted to create a cybersecurity platform that would enable me to be more effective in my job, to do more with the data and create new insights into the human aspects of cyber risk, and to give people more of a reason to care more about cybersecurity. We launched our company in June 2017 with 5 early adopter customers. Today, we have more than 300 around the world, including one of the world's top 10 banks with 100,000 employees. And while we've been built to meet the security and regulatory needs of large enterprises, we serve the needs of hundreds of smaller businesses in a variety of sectors, from information and technology to banking, from government to manufacturing. When our industry has talked about cybersecurity in the past and presented information such as 5 of the top 7 risks come from humans, it often leaves folks with the impression that people are the problem or humans are the weakest link. But the reality is, as you know, your team members are your greatest asset. And our challenge in 2021 is no longer about training and awareness. Our challenge is making people care more and care consistently more about cybersecurity. That's why we pioneered a new concept. It's the idea of a personal cyber risk score that every employee can see, and when they do good things like taking their annual training, reporting phishing simulation exercises, or other good security behaviors, their score improves. If they make a mistake or they have a risk, their score changes, but it gives them an opportunity and an incentive to want to improve. This is the personal dashboard that every employee can see, and when they're onboarded, the first thing they do is a short survey. We ask, how much do you know about cybersecurity? How much do you care? What do you think about the organization's approach? We also measure how much is your work-provided email address showing up in the dark web or criminal data breach sets, so we can educate you further automatically about the risk to you as an individual and follow up to make sure you've done things like change passwords or turned on multi-factor authentication. After they're done their survey and training and their score improves, they're then phished automatically. And we recommend a monthly random phishing approach where each employee gets a different phish of increasing difficulty. Now here's where we're different from other organizations. When we send out our phishing campaigns and people positively spot and report them using our Report a Phish button, they're rewarded on their risk score and they see the benefit to themselves and the organization of that good activity. We give them a way to win at the game of phishing. Secondly, if they do fall victim, one thing that's different about our platform is that their score takes a hit. So when they get to the big scary landing page, it shows they've clicked on a phishing email and get the automatic remedial training, they now have an incentive to want to do that follow-up training so they can get their points back on their score. That's how we help people care more and care more consistently about security. When we talk about doing more with data, one of the things that we help do is get more value out of things like the phishing simulation report. And while we target areas like the phishing click rate and report rate, we also look for more important metrics like, well, how often are people clicking and submitting credentials? Who are the repeat clickers as well as the repeat reporters? And finally, one area that we've pioneered is the idea of tagging the emotions that we're targeting in the phishing email templates when we send them out or you create them. And what we're trying to do is get a better sense for what emotions seem to be working the most for your organization, and going beyond just training that talks about senders and attachments and links and into talking about emotional intelligence and mindfulness. Because while the industry has done a good job talking about the technical aspects of phishing, it hasn't talked enough about the emotional aspects of phishing and how we can use that data to help people recognize if there are certain emotions where they can be hijacked to bypass what they would normally do and fall victim to these phishes. Behind the scenes, we're gathering very insightful analytical data on the human side of cyber risk to answer 3 key questions for leaders and IT executives. Those questions are, how are we doing on the human side of cyber risk? How do we compare to others? And what are specific risk areas or behaviors we can identify and work on to further improve the security for our organization? And our platform is easy to deploy. Because we're hosted in Microsoft Azure and we integrate seamlessly with things like Office 365, G Suite, Exchange, Outlook, and more, we can get you up and running in as little as 4 weeks using a 4-step deployment process. And we have an impact. Our customers can see 3 times the reduction in phishing simulation click rates, 3 times faster than some of the leading competitors. And we can save you hundreds of hours of time in running your security awareness and careness programs. You can spend as little as an hour a month working on these issues, or you can spend more time customizing the content and the platform to have more impact. And finally, the score itself is a reminder that management cares about cybersecurity. And it's the old Peter Drucker saying of what gets measured is what gets managed.
Thank you, and great job, second group of presenters. The final group that we'll see today are going to speak to a core tenet of community banking, and that's the personal relationship that we build between us and our bankers. The next 3 companies will show you the innovative ways that they're evolving that relationship. So please welcome me in joining the next group, Zogo, Agent IQ, and Harness.
And now for our last group of presenters. For the last group, our first presenter is Slaven Bilaj from Agent IQ.
Hi, I'm Slaven Bilaj, CEO and co-founder of Agent IQ. Thank you for taking time to learn more about our offering. I also want to thank the Venture Center and ICBA for this wonderful opportunity, as well as all the participant institutions for interactive sessions and relevant feedback. Thank you. Agent IQ mission is to make it easier for customers to engage with their financial institutions, while enabling financial institutions to deepen relationships and get to know each and every one of their customers. Basically, taking the best of in-branch service and making it available in a digital form. Our platform has been developed with community bank partners and is easy to deploy. Personalized service and customer engagement are at the heart of community banking, and main differentiation for community banks is the ability to provide trusted advice and help customers optimize their financial situation. This is especially relevant during a post-COVID crisis, which is creating new and unforeseen challenges for our customers and leaving customers craving for human touch and personalized support. However, the customers are finding it difficult to engage with their financial institutions. 57% consumers find it inadequate, especially when branches are not accessible. Ultimately, they question, why can engaging my banker be as simple and easy as engaging my friends? With Agent IQ, it can. Agent IQ service allows customers to engage with their primary banker through authenticated and secure chat, while allowing financial institutions to bring their physical and digital service offering and provide seamless service to all their customers. Agent IQ service consists of several configurable modules which can be deployed as desired. First is the personal engagement module, which allows customers to keep talking to the same banker over a longer period of time, developing relationships and trust. We also provide a web-based chat functionality with AI-powered self-service that can help answer many customer questions. AI is deeply embedded in our platform, but we believe it's not here to replace the human, but to help the banker be faster, smarter, better in helping the customer. In other words, to augment the human. Finally, any conversation on the platform analyzed and insights are made accessible for managers and business owners, enabling them to better understand their customer needs, as well as improve the self-service offering and employee training as appropriate. Now, let us get into the demo. Here we see the end customer experience when they first access the service, either through a standalone app or integrating an existing mobile app. The customer will see some introductory screens, accept terms and conditions, and log in using their existing credentials. When they do, they'll be given an opportunity to select from a list of available bankers on the platform. Each banker is represented with a baseball card-like UI, which helps appeal to interests and hobbies and not just their banking skills. This is useful in humanizing bankers and establishing the initial connection. Now we see the experience from the banker side. When a customer selects them, they will get a notification and start engaging with the customer. One crucial benefit of authenticated service is that the banker can proactively reach out to the customer even after the customer leaves the app. The customer will receive a push notification and can review the message by reopening the app. Now we will see how AI helps the banker. Any messages are analyzed for content, and AI assigns appropriate tags and categories, as well as provides suggestions as to appropriate responses. The suggestions don't need to be configured, as the platform automatically learns from all the human interactions. AI will also recommend any relevant marketing materials and disclosures, which can then easily be sent to the customer and reviewed on their convenience. This helps the banker by removing the need to search internal knowledge base or other similar tools. Now, imagine a situation where the selected banker is not the expert in the topic the customer is asking about. In that case, the banker can add their colleague to the conversation to help out as a subject matter expert. When the subject matter expert is added, all the context of the conversation is visible to them, so transition is seamless from the customer point of view. Help comes to them, there's no need to repeat or worry about lost context. As you can see, it's easy to select one or more bankers based on their skill set and availability. From the mobile app, you can also see that customer is always aware who they're talking to. Again, this helps set expectations and build the trust. While the expert is helping the customer, primary banker can take notes and schedule follow-up reminders, which will alert them when appropriate. Ability to schedule and review follow-ups really helps the banker in managing their book of business. They can easily review the scheduled appointments and act as appropriate. Another form of banker support is the ability to pass control to AI to execute standard procedures and data collection tasks on behalf of the banker. The workflows are highly configurable to match the existing procedures performed by the institution. The banker can decide when the workflows are appropriate and kick them off. Once the banker kicks off the workflow, AI runs the interaction, collecting the data and validating the input. Any data collected is treated as structured data and can be pushed into the backend store, LOS system, or other target source. Once the data collection step is completed, the control is passed back to the banker. Again, this experience is highly configurable to match the needs of the institution. Finally, it's often necessary for customers to upload copies of verification documents like utility bills. Our platform makes it easy to upload these. All data is encrypted in transit and at rest and stored securely. Agent IQ is SOC 2 Type 2 certified, so you can rest assured that your and your customer data is safe. This concludes our demo. To summarize, we've shown you how customer and banker can establish a relationship and keep talking over prolonged periods of time. How a banker can add a subject matter expert to help them on domain-specific questions, and how can they manage their book business through reminders and scheduling. Also, how AI can take on the mundane task from the banker and help the banker focus on higher value add. And ultimately, this helps make the banker more productive and efficient. There's a lot more to our platform, and so please check out our website and contact me on slaven@agentiq.com for more information. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate it.
Our next presenters are from Zogo. Welcome Bolin Lee, Zogo's founder and CEO, and Chuck Long, Zogo's VP of Strategic Partnerships.
Hello, my name is Bolin, founder and CEO of Zogo. Super excited to be here and share a little bit about Zogo with all of you. Before we start, just a brief history of Zogo. We started the company about 2.5 years ago at Duke University, students at Duke University, so really young. And we just got so frustrated with how the schools were delivering financial education to our generations. When I was in high school, there was like a 3-hour financial literacy seminar that was sponsored by a local bank. So a banker came in, gave a presentation. All the kids were playing on their phone, texting each other, not paying attention at all. And by the end of the presentation, the bank would give each of us a little flyer, and it says like, open a checking account, and you get $20 when you open the checking account. So overall, it was just not the best experience. And then when we got to Duke, we realized there really is a huge gap with financial literacy among the younger generations. So we partnered with the Duke Behavior Economic Lab and designed Zogo together, a gamified financial literacy tool, launched in November 2019. And today, it's crazy to think that we have over 150,000 happy users using the app, plus over 75 financial institutions across the US that are co-branding and licensing Zogo to use as a way to educate, engage, and attract the next generation of customers. So with that being said, excited to be here. I'm going to pass it over to Chuck, who will give you a little demo of Zogo.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Bowen, for the introduction. As introduced, I'm Chuck Long, and I'm the VP of Partnerships over at Zogo Finance. My goal here today is to go through our awesome Zogo app where we've made learning about personal finance fun, simple, and social for our users, as well as dive through the dashboard, which is a one-stop shop and a partnership for everything marketing, data, and better understanding the users using your app in your community. What you see in front of you here is our standalone version of the app, so it's downloaded from the App Store, Google Play, and I built my basic profile here. What I know is that I'm getting these awesome rewards as well as this great education from you and your bank. At Zogo, we do reward our users for learning about personal finance. They can earn gift cards like these, Amazon, Walmart, Target. Additionally, each of our partners gets to offer their own custom rewards like direct deposits, really incentives for joining. As we're taking a look here at the referral screen and the referral program, we have over 150,000 users on our app now. What I can tell you is more than 75% are directly from referrals. On the next screen here, you're going to see where this ROI comes in for you in these survey questions. We at Zogo ask our users questions like these. Do you have an account with what would be your bank? The options here are yes, I already have one, no, I don't, or the answer our bankers like to see this, no, but I'd like to have one. We're providing this all in the back end in that easy-to-use dashboard, and these users are already off earning pineapples towards that first gift card. All of the content in the Zogo app is tailored by age, so depending on how old you are when you sign on the app, you get content that makes sense for you. We separate it into 20 important topics based on your life cycle stage, like getting credit, shopping smartly, and getting insured. And behind all of these topics are 15 plus bite-sized modules that are going to make you a master of that topic. In this case, getting credit. If you look at the top right hand of your screen here, that will be your bank's graphic. Additionally, that will direct users to your website to learn more when they click it. Furthermore, your graphic is displayed at the bottom right hand of the screen throughout all of these snippets, where we keep the education short, sweet, and digestible. Then they're going to go on and get quizzed. Answering these questions correctly on the information you just learned earns you those pineapples towards a gift card. Answering them wrong, you get why it's wrong. I'll tell you additionally, you lose a heart in the top right hand of your screen here. If you lose all 5 hearts in a 5-hour window, you are booted out of the modules for 5 hours. We want our users to learn about personal finance and not how to earn an Amazon gift card by clicking through an app. The next screen you'll see here is a survey question. So Zogo asks, and we allow each of our partners to ask survey questions so that you can better understand your community and your customers. 2 other great parts of the Zogo in-app experience are the leaderboards, where we socialize financial education within friendships, the household, and classrooms. Additionally, the Pineapple Party, which is our daily competition and game, where we bring back users every single day to learn more. The next part I'll dive into here is the dashboard. So this is what you get access to as a partner. It would be your bank in the Zogo custom dashboard, where you'll be able to understand and know of all of these users using your app, how many of them are currently customers, how many are not, How many have already stated that interest in becoming a customer? Additionally, interested in loans and things like that. You'll be able to click on, dive back into Excel files, individualizing who these users are. Additionally, looking at these user messages, this is a great opportunity for the users to reach out to you and say, thank you so much for providing Zogo. This is my story and how it's helped me. They will be able to ask you questions here. We'll make it easily and accessible for you to say thanks, respond, as well to be able to determine if they're currently a customer or not, or interested in becoming one right on this dashboard. We're not giving you more work, but it's an opportunity to take advantage of if you would like to. The next part of this dashboard that I'll dive into here real quick is the analytics part of the dashboard, where you'll be able to see all of the engagement that you're getting on the app. Really what we're providing here at Zogo is engagement with your bank, your customers, their families, and community. As you'll see here, we'll show you the average module per user. Across the board today, we have an average of 34 to 37 modules per user. We have an average session length of 9 minutes, double that of the average of major social media providers. Additionally, we will let you take a look at the zip codes that are really engaging with it, your age breakdown, so that you can really get everything out of the tool that you're providing the community and base your strategies upon that usage. The next part of this dashboard that we're going to take a look at is custom modules. This is where you're going to be able to get your information out there to the individuals, whether they're customers, the children of your customers, or local students using your app. This is the benefit of being a customer. This is promoting your student accounts, the different account offerings that you are providing. Again, this is what is important for you. The users get to go through it, learn about who you are, answer the questions that you're providing, earn these pineapples towards gift cards, just for learning about everything that you guys are already doing. All of the marketing materials that Zogo provides, from school kit, employee onboarding, best practices for Gen Zs, and more, will all be provided as well on this dashboard behind the marketing kit tab for you all to access. I just want to extend a big thank you from the Zogo team to the ICBA, the Venture Center, as well as all of you joining today throughout this fantastic demo day experience. Please feel free to check out the Zogo website to schedule a demo or reach out to learn more.
And now, our final presenter is Mirage Patel, co-founder and CEO of Harness.
Hey everyone, this is Mirage Patel, founder and CEO of Harness. Based out of Tampa, Florida, Harness powers experiential fundraising programs for hundreds of nonprofits across America. Experiential fundraising has raised millions of dollars for community-based charities, just like the ones in your own communities. And today, it gives me extreme pleasure to be able to introduce our newest experiential fundraising program called Prize-Linked Giving, and share a bit more about what it means for you and your financial institution. First and foremost, Prize-Linked Giving is a way for you to leverage your cardholders' affinity as a competitive advantage, allowing you to move the needle on both your social and business goals at your FI. And then rather than just speak about the program, I thought it would be appropriate to fully show it to you. And so this is Sunrise Banks, a community bank that we were able to meet thanks to the folks at the ICBA and the Venture Center. And this is the pitch we gave them from a white labeled swipe to shine campaign perspective. Swipe your card, give back, win big. The first thing is all cardholders will have a completely white labeled experience when discovering and registering for this program. So swipe to shine, activate your card, give back, win big. Swipe your card for your chance to win one of thousands of prizes when you round up your purchases for a local community-based charity. It's a very, very simple concept to understand. Register your card, swipe it anywhere, either in-store or online. We'll round up. Half of your roundup will go directly to a charity of your choice, and the other half will go into a 50-50 raffle pool where you have the chance to win one of thousands of prizes, ranging from a local Minnesota Twins game day experience to $25,000 in statement credits, all the way to thousands of gift cards ranging from $5, $10, $50. And it really is that simple. Register your card, swipe it anywhere, we'll round up, half goes to charity, half goes to you winning some awesome prizes. It is 100% worth it for you and your cardholders to participate. And what we've done here is we've just taken one of the most effective fundraising mechanisms ever, the 50-50 raffle, and we've created a gamified experience out of it. And it's very easy for your cardholder to sign up. So if I'm interested in registering my card, all I do is provide a few basic details. I'm going to have to verify my phone number here as well. So give me a second while that goes through, 0227. And from there, all I do is enter my 16-digit PAN number, expiration date, CVC, and zip. I'm using test credentials. On the demo account, I have to go one step further, but this next portion you won't have to do, or your cardholders won't have to do once we are live with your institution. So right now I'm authenticating through your banking rails, a step again that we won't need to do once we are live with your institution. After I add my basic card details, I can select one of dozens of charities within my own local community that's on the Harness platform. And so for this demo, I'll pick Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Twin Cities. And boom, I am done. From the very next purchase I make anywhere, I'll automatically round up. Half of it will go to the Big Brothers, Big Sisters. The other half will go towards my chance to win one of these awesome prizes. We do some small user experience things like allow folks to set a cap. So for instance, I won't spend more than $40 towards this program if I'm capped at 40 on any given month. The real experience begins to happen on the text message side, and this is where the program takes life. First of all, this is a new communication medium from your bank to your cardholders. It is something different than security concerns or account balance concerns. This is a new way to communicate with your cardholders. And the pricing experience is special in itself. So imagine you're at Costco swiping for groceries with your family. You swipe out at register and boom, you get an instant message that says, you've just won. Harness actually will control a white labeled pricing experience that allows, once again, your brand to shine front row and center with your colors, your logos, your messaging. And boom, just like that, I, by going with my daily routine, picked up a $20 Starbucks e-gift card that's already been added to my mobile wallet and is ready to use immediately. So it sounds pretty cool, but what's in it for you and why should you lean in? Well, what we've done is we've taken consumer psychology behavior and the best themes in the space to make the top of wallet argument actually make sense. How are you going to increase those microtransactions? How are you going to get a cardholder to swap their card on file for recurring payments? What better call to action than saying, hey, swap your card on your Netflix bill, your cable bill, your light bill, your car bill. And every month as you pay those passive payments, you will actually have the chance to win up to $25,000 in statement credits. It's an awesome acquisition tool. When I win, I get excited. I share with my friends and family. And finally, it raises a ton of net new revenue for your organizations. 2,000 cardholders will generate $500,000 towards this program. It's a no-brainer for the cardholder as well. For them, it's a new way to earn rewards. This is not a new card. You can activate the program on any card. That means we're a layer on top. So your cardholders can earn the same core rewards they're already earning while also winning these prizes. It's a seamless giving experience, allowing the charities in our network to actually steward these donors as they're giving, which relates and makes the altruistic feelings top of mind. And for the community-based nonprofits that you already serve, this is a way to gain net new recurring revenue for them, as well as new donors. It allows you to strengthen these community relationships with even the small businesses that you serve. And so I thank you very much for taking the time to learn about experiential fundraising and prize-linked giving. And I'd love for you to reach out to learn how we can get you started for free. And I would like to thank everyone at the ICBA and the Venture Center for this incredible opportunity. It has been a fantastic ride, and we cannot thank you enough. We're looking forward to growing with you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
How good are these companies? You know, one of the main benefits of this program is that these companies actually get to participate in 2 demo days. The previous demo day took place last Tuesday, in fact. And it was a closed audience to the ICBA membership base. And over 125 bankers or so who I believe were on that call. We asked them to vote for the company that they thought was the most likely to help community bankers flourish. And they chose, in fact, the company you just saw most recently, Harness Giving. Now we're going to pass the stage again to Hamza Kadir, who's going to tell us about the MVP award. Hamza?
Thanks, Daniel. Every year, a company is selected as the MVP of our cohort. That's the most valuable participant. This is given to the startup that's demonstrated the most outstanding qualities throughout the course of the program. And to us, that means three things. First, creating a true impact for the community banking industry. This company has been able to secure several opportunities already and also holds the record for the fastest deal close in our program, 20 days from pitch to agreement. The second thing that we look at is how productively they engage with the visitors of our program, whether it be a venture capitalist, a subject matter expert, a community leader, or even other startups that have come to help. This year's MVP came prepared to take advantage of every resource that we put in front of them. And finally, while we love all our children and startups the same, this group left us with zero headaches and zero stress throughout the course of the program, for which we are personally and professionally grateful for. So please join me in congratulating this year's winner, Beauceron Security.
We kind of gave that away with the 20-day record, I think, as opposed to saving it for the end. I bet they knew after the first point. Yeah, next time. Now we're going to hear from Charles Potts, the Senior Vice President and Chief Innovation Officer of the ICBA. Charles started in week 1 of this program last year. And this time around, with a full year under his belt, he's added a layer of professionalism and expertise that we really didn't know we were lacking before he came on board. Not me, but Hamza, lacking the professionalism and expertise. Charles so surgically dissected the founder pitches that some of the founders took to calling him the pitch doctor. We quoted Peter Drucker earlier, the only two functions of a business are marketing and innovation, and everything else is a cost. Now, these founders had the innovation side down, and what you've seen today is in large part due to Charles's work with the companies to begin this program. Charles?
Thank you, Daniel. Deliberate and predictable. Wise words that our leader Wayne Miller gave us early on. And the future is very bright, and we've seen that today. In this era of innovation, the marriage between fintechs and community banks has the power to elevate and enhance the customer experience. And we've seen that here again today. Our goal with the ThinkTECH Accelerator program has always been to seek and find suitable fintech partners to help them refine their offerings and bring new innovative solutions to market to address the real world problems that community banks and their customers face. This process, deliberate and predictable, has helped foster a greater understanding between fintechs and community banks of their respective strengths, the business challenges and opportunities that each one of them can work collaboratively to solve. We continue to hear from our cohort, this and previous alum, about the invaluable feedback they've received throughout this program, this 12-week program, as they refine their efforts to address these real-world needs. And our community bank participants, each and every one of you and hundreds of others, have shared with us how important this program has been in helping them uncover not only what was possible and beneficial for their bank, but how the work being done through this program will help advance community banking. Very deliberate and very predictable. As always, we've aimed for a diverse set of subject matter experts. So in addition to inviting the policymakers, the regulators, and industry influencers to share their expertise, knowledge, and perspectives, of course, we've had community bank leaders, community bank presidents and CEOs, their chief marketing officers, lenders, IT, compliance, and on and on. And we took advantage of this year's virtual format to seek input from a broader and deeper set of these banking officers and banking operational roles and professionals. This is very deliberate and very predictable. Not only are the community banks providing invaluable guidance and feedback and thought leadership throughout this 12-week program, many of those conversations we know will continue beyond this current cohort. When we look to assess the success of this program, in fact, we know the groundwork laid during our first 2 accelerator cohorts and the partnerships many of them forged was pivotal to quickly getting community banks solutions that could address the market's needs this last year through the pandemic, the COVID crisis, the CARES Act, and specifically the PPP lending opportunity. Community banks, as we saw, accounted for more than 3.5 million PPP loans worth nearly $335 billion. Community banks served 57.5% of all PPP recipients, and they led the way in supporting unprecedented small businesses, diverse communities, and critical areas of the economy. Very predictable. So while we may be closing the chapter, this our third cohort, at the end of this 12-week program, we know the community bank innovation story will continue. I'd like to thank our mentors, each and every one of you who so graciously gave of your time throughout this process, your knowledge, your talents, your insights, to support a very extraordinary and unique program, unlike anything else you'll see. This helped us foster innovation through this ICBA ThinkTech program in ways many of us never imagined. And for that, we're very grateful and very blessed. Today's demo day wouldn't have been possible without the dedication of my amazing partners at the Venture Center. I am so grateful and so glad to be able to work with you. You've worked alongside all of us at the ICBA to help us identify these most promising fintechs and bring them in a deliberate and predictable way through this rigorous process designed to accelerate their success with community banks. And finally, I'd like to thank Governor Hutchinson, the state of Arkansas, the city of Little Rock, and all of the people who have worked behind the scenes to make sure that the Venture Center and these economic development programs in Arkansas thrive and give us at the ICBA the benefit of being able to work with you and our community banks and bring innovation in a meaningful, deliberate, and predictable way. Thank you all, and I'd like to now turn it back to Hamza for closing remarks.
Thank you to the pitch doctor. But no, all jokes aside, as I entered to the ThinkTech program with our ICBA partners, I wasn't sure how well my understanding of fintech would translate into the community banking space. And as I look back on my experience, Charles Potts was my first introduction into the community banks and has since become a mentor to me in showing me the significance and the importance of what we're accomplishing here. So in closing, there's several important thank yous that I've got to share, and the first of those goes to Charles Potts. The next goes to the rest of the ICBA team. Without you guys, this wouldn't have been the program that it is, and we're thrilled to have the opportunity to collaborate on this program with you. The second group of people that I think deserve thanks are all the visitors of the program, representing over 100 community banks, the top fintech VCs, industry-leading subject matter experts, the heads of regulatory agencies, and key resources that could help any startup along their journey. Thank you for all making our program special. And while the fintech side is the nuts and bolts of what we're doing, Charles and I always joke about how the magical ingredient to our secret sauce is you all. So a big thanks to you for making our program special, despite all of the challenges surrounding our day. The third group of people I'd like to thank is the cohort themselves. It's been an amazing ride as we've witnessed you building your startups into great companies. And I'm pretty sure I hope I never have to see your pitch again, at least for the next few months. But we can't wait to continue to build part of your company as you graduate into alumni of our program. Thank you for all your hard work and letting us be part of your story. The final group, and I would be absolutely remiss not to include, is our very own team here at the Venture Center. Under Wayne and Daniel's great leadership, we've created something that is unrivaled in the field of innovation. We don't just create opportunities here, we deliver value. So the next time a small nonprofit out of good old Little Rock, Arkansas sets its sight on a goal, y'all can bet on it. And it is with that being said that we close this chapter and open the next in carrying out a long-standing tradition of ringing the gong. Daniel, you want to take it away?
Congratulations, class of 2021 ICBA ThinkTech Accelerator.
The Venture Center thanks sponsors and supporters, including Governor Asa Hutchinson and the State of Arkansas, Arkansas Economic Development Commission, Independent Community Bankers of America, Little Rock Regional Chamber, Wright Lindsay Jennings, Little Rock Technology Park, Simmons Bank, Frost PLLC, and CFO Network. Thank you for attending the 3rd annual ICBA ThinkTECH Accelerator Demo Day. We'll see you next year.